Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to have some Division 20 ranked online gameplay in the welterweight division using none other than Darren the Gorilla Till. And I did try to get this gameplay at middleweight. Obviously you can use Darren at both welterweight or middleweight. And yeah, we managed to get a welterweight match up here, which was a pretty close fight, as you can see by the length of the video. It does go on to the later rounds, and we're coming up against RDA, who of course is very, very good. He's one of my favourites to use. RDA, obviously, very good on the ground, very good on the feet, great cardio, and just overall very good skill set. And in this match up here, the one thing you'll notice is obviously the speed advantage will be to RDA, which makes sense, and the power advantage sort of goes to Darren Till. But speaking a bit about Darren Till on this game, I find him extremely difficult to use, to be honest. He is someone I'd like to get better at using, which is why I'm using him in this video here. He just feels very stiff, and at middleweight it's even more stiff. I sort of do prefer to use him at welter. Obviously the main thing people are going to do is when they come up against you, they're going to look to take you down, which, you know, it makes sense. Obviously Darren's going to be a bit weak on the ground, but obviously he's got very good knees, very good elbows, good roundhouses to the body. He's fights out the southpaw stance, and his left hand is just an absolute sniper, and you've got to use him in a very technical approach. Obviously I tried to use him sort of how he fought Kelvin Gastelum and how he fought Robert Whittaker, although he lost. That was a very closely contested fight. Stephen Thompson was another good fight, and that's how you've sort of got to, you've got to sim really Darren Till. You can't really go out there and blitz someone unless you have them hurt. I look more for a technical approach, so I try to stand, keep it like a Muay Thai battle, but obviously the fight dictates how your opponent wants it as well. It's all good you standing there trying to, you know, keep it a nice, clean, technical fight, which is how I'm trying to keep it, when your opponent could just come out and really blitz you. But yeah, the speed advantage is one thing I could tell from the offset that RDA had. He just felt a lot smoother, and Darren just feels a bit clunky. And I try using, like I said, I try sim him. I'm trying to use a lot of leg kicks. I try sneaking elbows. I try sneaking those knees, and eventually, you know, if I'm in the clinch, I try work the knees also. And if the fight does come to the ground, I'm obviously just trying to get back up. We've seen that Darren's had, you know, some struggles in his career. Obviously, the main one was the weight cutting at welterweight, which has now been resolved by going to middleweight. But when he does get on the ground, even though he's got very good jiu-jitsu, we have seen that he struggled a bit. Obviously, Derek Brunson showed that recently. Once he got him there, it was fairly easy to submit him, which isn't good to see when, you know, I really want Darren to be pushing and challenging for that belt. I'd love to see a matchup with him against either Jared Cannonier or Israel Adesanya, so hopefully one day we can see that. But yeah, my opponent takes me down here, which I was expecting eventually. I didn't know if my opponent was going to work it in through the feet, like, you know, just stand and then go for the takedown, or if he was going to wait for him to get hurt and then shoot a takedown, because often than not, when I'm using Darren Till or someone that's a specialist on the feet, what most people do is they wait for me to hurt them and then look for takedowns. So I liked my opponent's approach here, where he just shot, even though the fight was, you know, it was fairly contested, but he just thought, yeah, I'm just going to shoot for this takedown, and he got it. So it's fair play to my opponent. And yeah, so starting off round two, as you can see, I've done a good job of maintaining my stamina, and I've got to be careful when it comes to my chin health. Obviously Darren, you know, he has been hurt a lot of welterweight, and that reflects on his chin health. Obviously he got knocked out brutally by Jorge Masvidal, which I had the privilege of watching live, and he's obviously got dropped by Woodley as well. So I know that his chin health isn't the greatest, so I'm trying to not absorb too much damage in that area. As you can see, I'm being very forceful when it comes to the leg kicks. That's sort of what I'm really trying to implement. And my opponent in the pocket is doing a good job right now of throwing these boxing combinations, working both my body and head. But whenever he's coming in, I'm trying to catch him with the straight, and I'm also trying to take out my opponent's legs. And the way I use Darren, like I said, I try to sim him. I'm playing the long game here. I'm really looking for the fight to go into the 4th and 5th round and capitalise off the work I've done in the rounds prior. So if I explain quickly what I'm just trying to do, I'm only throwing short combinations. I'm trying to throw a lot of Muay Thai combinations, sneaking a knee, sneaking an elbow where possible. I'm trying to take away my opponent's leg, And as the fight progresses into the third, the fourth, and the fifth, when you know your gas tank needs to be at its highest, that's when the roundhouses to the body come in, the teeps to the body, the roundhouse to the head, and that's when I start mixing and incorporating all these things. Right now it's all about damage control. It's about making my opponent miss shots, countering, and working my opponent's gas tank. And also I know these takedowns are going to be coming, so it's something I'm very wary of. And as you can see right now, it's been a fairly close round 2 as well. Round 1 was pretty close, but you could give it to my opponent because he did get the takedown and got some control time out of that. Obviously we know that on the game it's damage that's really scored, so it doesn't matter how much your opponent controls you on the ground as long as you're the one that's dealing the damage. But the speed advantage was something that was particularly difficult to get over. He shoots the takedown attempt, which we've done a good job of denying, and I sort of picked up on the pattern that he was going to shoot in the final minute. Shoots again and gets it, so good job to my opponent. He does get me down with a minute to work with. And moving forward from this round, I know that last minute to minute and a half, my opponent is going to go for takedowns just to try to secure that round. And it's something that I'm going to have to look to deny. We may be down by 2 rounds, so I need the next 3 rounds to be very, very big unless I can get a finish. And like I said, with Darren Till, I'm playing the long game. I feel like the 5-round fights suit more his style with how I use him. Like I said, I'm trying to be very technical, fight him how he fought Wonderboy and how he fought Gaslam, rotating away, keeping space, countering, and only really blitzing forward like he did with Cowboy if I know my opponent's hurt. So when I know that eventually my opponent's hurt, whether that be to the leg or body or head, I will then push forwards and try to get a finish. But my opponent comes out very aggressive again, round 3, and as you can see, stuns me. And this is where you've got to be very careful using Darren Till. So like I said, his head health isn't the best, so once that gets cracked once, it will be pretty easy to keep cracking him. The one thing we've done a very good job of so far in this fight is that my leg health has stayed in a very good position as we check that leg kick there, and you can see he lands a good combination and sneak in that elbow. And this is very good for me now because I know that my opponent's leg is hurt, my legs are in a very good position, and as long as I can chip away at the other leg, because technically right now I have 3 rounds to work with to really isolate my opponent's leg here and try to do as much damage as possible. And right now my opponent's been a bit more aggressive. Obviously he got the stun, so I believe that right now he thinks it'll just be easy to get a knockdown. And also I did get that leg health event, so he's probably looking to get another thing back on me. But I'm remaining patient, and even when I'm in these in the boxing range, I'm trying to throw knees and obscure leg kicks. That's one thing I've noticed that recently a lot of my opponents have difficulty with, is when you throw unpredictable leg kicks. It really throws your opponent off, and obviously, of course, if you think about it, it makes sense. The more unpredictable it is, the harder it is for them to obviously counter it, but at the same time it leaves you vulnerable for damage. If you're throwing it in boxing range, obviously they can just clip you with a punch and the vulnerability meter is quite high, and that will cause you to get knocked down. So you have to throw it at your own risk. It's something that lately I've started doing more, and you'll see that I've got a Justin Gaethje video coming out, and you'll notice that I throw leg kicks just crazy, like wherever I can, no matter where in the combination. It doesn't matter if it's at the start, in the middle, or the finish. I really try and mix it in. And you can see that my opponent stunned me again now. My head health's really starting to drop, and that is something that's quite worrying. But like I said, you've got to be patient. He clinches me here. We do a good job of blocking the damage to the head and also retaliating with some of our own hooks and elbows in there. But like I said, I'm trying to throw feints here now. Good lead leg kick, another good check, so that's another health event there. And then we're straight back at that leg. So as you can see, I'm being very technical. I noticed that my opponent's gas tank there wasn't in the greatest position, and that's very good because obviously RDA has a phenomenal gas tank. And the fact that my opponent's gas tank seems to be slowing down is very beneficial because my stamina is in a very good place, especially for going into round 4 and 5. It really means that I can push forward with combinations and really look to attack my opponent if need be. And right now, with the way the fight's going, it seems as if that I'm going to need another, I'm going to need a finish, or at least 2 very big rounds. And as you can see, I quickly flicked through the stats there. And coming into the round 4, in my mindset, I know I need to win this round 100% because I'm not sure how the other 3 have been scored. As you can see, me and my opponent both show respect to each other. As long as I won 1 out of the past 3, I really believe I can win these next 2 rounds. But I'm being a bit more aggressive, as you can see off the bat. I threw a combination where I started with the lead leg kick, threw a 1-2, and then ended with a leg kick again. And that combination, I find, often catches my opponents by surprise. Obviously, it's a big combination. It's 2 punches, 2 kicks, but a very effective combination. Now you can see that my opponent's got me on the ground, and this is the exact right thing he has to do here. If he secures this round and plays it safe in the 5th, then he's probably won the fight. So what I did is I went to sprawl. We get the deny here and a great reversal, and again that's because my opponent 1 doesn't have stamina, and 2, obviously I predicted the direction he was going in. So the stamina work is already paying dividends in this round here, because had my stamina been lower than my opponent's, I would not have got that reversal, and he just would have sat on top for that little bit extra. So the fact that we're back onto the feet means I can do more work. Throwing that leg kick again, and I can see by the way my opponent's fighting in this round that he's a bit more fatigued, a bit tired. He nearly caught me there with a good uppercut, and right now it seems like we're hitting my opponent a lot more. Feels like the range, although we're floating in between the ranges, we're floating between the kickboxing and boxing range. When we are in the boxing range right now, just because of the stamina difference, I feel that my opponent's power isn't carrying as much as it should. And as you can see, we're starting to work the roundhouses to the body. I landed one there earlier, and that's something that I purposely wasn't throwing just because I didn't want my opponents keep catching the kick and then taking me down off of it. And I didn't want to be too predictable, so I've waited to use that tool in the 4th and 5th. Obviously, I had planned for this fight to be a 5-round fight, or at least push past the 3rd round, which is when I'd start to implement all these things. Obviously, if my opponent hasn't seen it in the round prior, it'd be very hard for him to predict what's going to happen. So it's really good to mix up the strikes you throw because it'll catch them off guard. And as you see there in the boxing range, catch my opponent with a beautiful uppercut. I was waiting because I could see the opening was there for it. We throw it and we get the knockdown. So that's very big for this round. Like I said, as long as I won 1 from the past 3, then it could be 2-2 going into the 5th. I just need a very big 5th round, and we could end up winning. So I'll go for the head kick there because he missed the strike, and obviously done a good job of blocking it. Stamina's in a good position. Beautiful dodge there. We get another stun, and then I was trying to rip the body, but my opponent was too far back. Get another knockdown, which is incredibly big because I know that I'm just doing more and more damage to my opponent's head health. That's definitely secured me that round. So going into the 5th, my mindset is that it is probably 2-2, and this round is going to be absolutely massive if it does finish, and it could win me the fight. So coming into here, I know I have the stamina advantage. I know that my opponent's head health's hurting, and because of the body work we've done and leg work, I know that my opponent's punch power isn't where it was at the start of the fight, which is beneficial because it means it will take him slightly more to hurt me. And my opponent gets me down early, which again, can't fault it. That's exactly what he needs to do. He's using RDA. He needs to work his grappling in. We get to the sprawl position here, and I was just smart. And I've said this, I've made a video on it. Whenever someone keeps taking you down, get into the sprawl position and just wait it out. It's the smart thing to do. And as you can see there, we intercepted him with the knee, which was beautiful. He was about to throw a 3-piece combo. As he was unloading the 3rd strike, snuck in that knee, and I know that done a lot of damage and really hindered his gas tank there. But you can see I'm still being patient, throwing feints, got very good levels of stamina, catching a beautiful hook there, intercepted him as he was coming in. Teep knocks him down. The front kick knocks him down. We get on top to try secure the finish, but my opponent does a good job of dodging. And now that we're on the ground, I've just got to be extremely careful and extremely patient. So he does a good job of getting me to full guard. Messes up there by throwing an elbow with the hand that's covering my neck, so it allows me to get the easy option of getting up. And again, this just favours me. I could have stayed there and just played out the round and hoped to win this round, but to be honest with you, at this point, I'm not sure how the judges have scored it, so I'm really looking for a finish. Catch my opponent's kick and then throw him down. And again, that's not for me to get on top, it's just to waste my opponent's stamina, get a little bit of a dump there. And you could tell by my opponent's posture that he just has no stamina right now. So I go to the body. I'm a bit careful because I don't want to get caught with an uppercut because my chin health still isn't in the greatest position. Got a minute and 40 seconds to work with, so you can see I'm still trying to go to the legs. I'm throwing fakes. Beautiful takedown from my opponent here. Obviously we did get the knockdown, so as far as damage dealt, I am in a pole position here to win this round, unless my opponent gets up from here and scores a knockdown, or if he just knocks me out. Tries to take me down there, great deny. And here I'm just thinking, alright, let's go for broke, let's go out on the shield, get the stun there. As you can see, being very aggressive, staying in my opponent's face. Try sneaking that elbow, and I wish that would have landed clean because that would have done a lot of damage. Sneaking another elbow, go for the knee, and my opponent just isn't really throwing back, more than content to just let me rip into him. Go to the body there, try land the knee, and as you can see, I've got nothing left in my gas tank, but really pushing this finish. Go for the flying knee, which doesn't land. Knee to the body again, knee to the body again. So that round was a very, very, very big round because we obviously got the knockdown, we got the stun, and just overall it was a much better round. And yeah, using Darren Till I think is extremely difficult. He feels very, very stiff, but he's, you know, it's one of those things that if you want to test yourself, it's a good fighter to use, especially when I'm trying to get my stand-up better. I try to fight in a simish way. I try to simulate him as much as possible. The decision's coming up now, so you can see who they scored the fight to. I think it's going to be revealed any moment now, and you can see that we did get the victory. And yeah, I believe that in the judges' scorecards, I did win 3 rounds to 2, so it's exactly as I predicted. Going into the 5th, it was 2 rounds each. And obviously I went all out in the 5th, got the knockdown and a lot of stuns. So that's the video for today. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like, and if you're new around here, please don't forget to subscribe. If you have any content suggestions, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.